Hello and welcome back to Two Fairs for the Avengers Reserve podcast, episode 15. As always, I'm delighted to be joined by Sad Boy Care. How are you doing today, Care?
Exhausted. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Good. I'm glad we're kind of on a similar page in that regard as well. Yeah, like obviously you've been working a lot. I just had like 3 days off. You know, escaped
and you're
away
complaining
for a little
about
bit,
being
which
tired.
was nice. Yeah.
Today's my 10th day in a row. I don't want to.
Yeah. It is a different level of tiredness for you, I'm sure.
Yes.
I think my problem is that whenever I've been going away, I haven't been like resting. I'll be like going to sleep at like 2 a.m. still, and then waking up at 9 a.m. and be like, yeah, cool, let's go do stuff. So it is a bit of a problem that I've been facing.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of me today, because I was up late last night, but... Yeah.
Sure. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's what your 20s really are. Like, you just got to kind of go and enjoy it. And, you know, you're quite lucky to be in that environment where you can just, you know, you're not running out of options of things to do there, sort of thing. So,
definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure it's all worth the tiredness.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to the parks tomorrow, so that's like my little treat for working 10 days in a row. But
yeah, nice. Hopefully you won't be too tired for that.
I think I'll be fine. The parks I can get my energy up for. It's when I'm like slugging around for like 5 hours before work that I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to fit stuff in before work as well as gets a little bit tiring.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Did you manage to catch the like fake Spider-Man trailer that I sent you, or the teaser?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter too much because it's fake, so it doesn't really...
Okay.
not too much working, but there's people going out there who are like claiming that there's a Spider-Man No Way Home teaser, and they've just mashed past films together. But it's quite cleverly done.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
I don't think I would have spotted it straight away. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you manage to catch the new trailer for Venom 2?
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
I am just very excited for Carnage.
Yeah. I heard everyone
be sure
was,
to
like,
go and check
talking
that
about
out. That is really good.
Yeah. I did see the pictures of Carnage from that, but I didn't see the actual trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what it comes out to be. Like, I only just watched Venom like a couple months ago now, so I'm not like too into it, but like I liked it enough to like be excited about the new film.
Yeah. No, I think the new trailer has definitely revealed a little bit more info and kind of it is more of a trailer feel, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I think you've got a really good moment in there where you see, I'm guessing it's the first interaction between Venom and Carnage, and obviously referencing back to the original trailer that we saw where Tom Hardy, forgetting his name, Eddie Brock, is trying to stop Venom from eating everything, and he's kind of like losing control.
Okay.
You get to understand that like he's starting to control Venom a little bit more in that regard.
Okay.
So there's definitely you can see that there's going to be some development in the next movie, and be sure. I don't want to like spoil the trailer as it were, but go and watch it.
I will definitely.
And then check the comments as well. Is what I did. You can get some very enlightening subjects from there.
Okay.
But anyway, we're going to move on to obviously the main part of this podcast episode, which is a breakdown of the What If episode 1. We were very excited in the sort of preview, and it does feel like it's been like 2 weeks since we did that preview.
It's been like a week and a half, because I think we filmed it on Sunday.
I think it got to last Wednesday, and I was like, oh my god, What If has come out? I was like, I need to get home, because I was in the pub at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a long time coming, but I think it's in terms of animated series, I think they're pulling it off. Would you say that?
Yeah, I think so. I really like the animation style. I didn't realize how much it was supposed to be like comic style until I actually
Mm-hmm.
watched it.
Yeah.
Um, and like I was watching it and I was like, oh, this literally looks like I'm reading a comic book. Like at this point, it's really cool, and I think it's really cool that the voice actors are like the same people. But my roommate and I watched it together, and I was like, because who was it? Oh, Bucky. I felt like Bucky did not sound like Sebastian Stan at all. I was like, there's no way that's Sebastian Stan. He sounds so different. And I was like, maybe it's
Oh,
just
I
because we
know.
don't see his like broody face that it doesn't sound like
Mm.
him. But I don't know. But I really did like the episode though.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know if that was really. I don't know if that's what I spotted. The only one that obviously stood out for me is like Captain America,
Mm.
or Steve Rogers, I suppose we should really call him.
Yeah.
That was the one that kind of stood out for me. But yeah, what did you make of the Watcher being included as well? Because I can't remember where I've seen the Watcher from, like what film it was.
It was, oh, my roommate told me this. So, you know how I was saying how Stan Lee was talking with the timekeepers?
Right, so it wasn't the
It
timekeepers, it was
wasn't
the
it wasn't the
Watchers.
timekeeper. Yeah, it wasn't the timekeepers, it was the watchers. Yeah.
Right,
So,
okay.
and then my roommate was like, what if they meant for Stan Lee to actually voice this over, but he never actually made it to the point where they were going to voice it over? Like as one
Oh,
of the
yeah.
watchers. And that made me really sad. That made me so sad. I was like, I'm gonna need 30 minutes to process what you just said to me. Because
Yeah. I can see that though,
but
yeah.
yeah. And I knew that the Watcher was gonna be in it because in like the first trailer, he was like the narrator. But
Okay.
that I completely forgot about it until like the end of the episode when he was like
Mm.
actually shown again.
Yeah, I didn't really notice it too much, but I think it's very interesting that the Watcher is kind of, being included, and we get seeing a little bit more about it, and it's kind of, you know, probably thrown both of us into research who the Watchers are and what they do specifically, and then there was
Yeah.
theories that we've actually missed, where they were included about the whole Loki series.
Oh.
And yeah,
Okay.
I like the Watcher being the narrator. I think it's going to
Yeah.
be some sort of twist or something is going to be included in the later episodes. There is a kind of, I don't want to call it a breakdown because calling a breakdown in an episode breakdown sounds a bit weird, but you can see where every episode, what each episode is going to be now.
Yeah. Yeah, you sent me that.
Um,
It's like a list of each of them. I'm glad that we know which ones are coming, but I kind of wish that it was like kind of a surprise. But
yeah, yeah.
I wasn't expecting Captain Britain to be like the first one. I was expecting that one to be like later on. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it made sense because it seems it was going in that
The order of the
order
Avengers.
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back to obviously World War Two, and they're just kind of gone from there.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
I'm not too sure whether I expected her to be first. I wasn't sure what to expect, whether it's going to be
Yeah.
episode per person. But yeah, so Captain Carter, obviously she decides to stay, which basically alters the future in this scenario, where Steve Rogers is about to be operated to become the first Avenger. There's so many points as well in this episode where like you think Steve Rogers is going to die, and it really irritated me. Because
Really?
it was a completely separate timeline, and I was like, it doesn't matter if he dies.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I feel like it was just trying to keep that angst between like the love story alive for the whole thing, you
Yeah.
know? So like the only reason why I would be upset that he died was the fact that they didn't even get to like the first dance line, you know?
Right, sure.
So like I felt like I knew that they were gonna the universes were gonna kind of mirror each other a little bit. And like I knew that the conversations would probably be very similar.
Yeah.
So like if he had died before the first dance line, or if he had died before she like basically disappeared or whatever for 100 years, like I would have been like kind of upset that they didn't like keep it parallel a little bit. And I think that's probably why they did it. So.
Yeah, I suppose I see that. And there's only like so much that you really should change, because otherwise it would just, I suppose, anger a lot of Marvel fans. But that whole, scenario where she does decide to stay, and then obviously Steve Rogers gets shot. He's a very small man at that stage, and I'm like, how have you survived a bullet wound? It just doesn't seem plausible.
That's what I was... The other thing I was thinking about that was, like... I said this to my roommate when I was watching it. I was like, so the fact that she stayed in the room made the bombs go off earlier.
Yeah, it's all like butterfly effect stuff, isn't it? But I don't know if it's...
Yeah, but like, I don't know what her being in the room had to do with the Hydra guy actually like setting off the bombs at a specific time.
Yeah.
You
but
know?
I think that was more just so they didn't have to like keep switching back and create multiple scenes sort of thing. I think it's just that she was there to like basically stop it. She was there to basically stop the explosion and could see it, whereas in the room that they were in, she couldn't. Because I think they all go down afterwards anyway, or something like that. So yeah, like I do understand what you're saying. I think that it was just done to basically speed things up. Like that's what I noticed about the episode, is that it goes through a lot of stuff very quickly, and you're kind of
it does the whole film.
Yeah.
It does the whole film.
Does the whole film in basically 35 minutes, which was very interesting to see. But like about halfway through, I was like, "Are we done yet?" Like, because you feel like you're watching the entire Captain America movie. But yeah, so that whole scenario where Captain Carter ends up basically becoming the first Avenger, and as you can kind of expect, isn't accepted by the army and things like that. She has to basically go and prove herself, which is exactly the sort of scenario that Captain America had to go and do. And in doing so, it's in this alternate
Except hers was
reality.
Probably a little bit harder, because she was a woman in the 1940s.
Yeah, probably just a little bit. But I think what was so interesting about this, and like it gave Steve Rogers like a bigger role, is that they were able to acquire the Tesseract. And in doing so, Steve Rogers gets the Hydra Stomper suit, which I did not really see coming.
I didn't see that coming either. I was like, so is he Iron Man now? Like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening? It was that one was shocking. Because, like, there was a lot of stuff that we did see coming, but, like, that was something that I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, it was definitely one that I didn't see coming, but I was very happy to see that sort of get added onto the series. I think like it was just another character that we could kind of look into, and yeah, so I really enjoyed it. The line where there were obviously the Hydra Stomper, or Steve Rogers goes to actually help them when they're on the train, and because it's an alternate reality, Bucky doesn't fall off the train. But I think it's Captain Carter that grabs him, and then Bucky says, "You almost ripped my arm off." That line absolutely killed me.
I didn't even notice that. No.
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I love that. That's so great.
Yeah.
I have to rewatch it, because, like, I don't know. I guess I wasn't paying attention hard enough.
Yeah, but this is what I was saying, is that I felt like I could have given it another watch, just because it speeds through a lot of stuff, and there's only so much you can take in so quickly when it's condensing a film into 35 minutes. And you get that sort of scene where you believe that Steve Rogers has died again. And then that you kind of go through that scenario where you think he might be dead, but then obviously Red Skull is around. It's all, very entertaining, but it did just feel like it was throwing bits in there with the whole Steve Rogers might be dead sort of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, maybe it's just the way that I kind of saw it, because I was like, he isn't going to be dead. It was exactly the same with something happened in Loki, I can't remember who it was, where we thought they might be dead, and then they were just like, yeah, of course they're going to be alive.
Oh, when Mobius and when they all got pruned.
Yeah. But yeah.
But I was kind of expecting him to be the Winter Soldier.
Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that's
they
the
never
alternate
really
reality that they were going to do.
They never really introduced a Winter Soldier in this episode, I feel like.
No.
Because, like, Steve just, like, got back with America again.
Yeah.
So there was, like, no Winter Soldier at all.
Yeah. Well, what really confused me is as well, because they were like, oh, like, we've wasted the serum on Captain Carter, but there should have still been extra serum, because it wasn't like they were all destroyed or anything. That was the
whole point in the first...
Yeah.
In the original film, like, they did it after he got turned into Captain America.
Yeah.
So, like, where was the extra vial that he tried to steal?
Yeah. Well, this is also what confused me, is I'm pretty sure, unless my memory is failing me, and you might be able to clarify for this for me, Dr. Erskine, is he still... Did he live? Did he get shot in that sort of altercation? I don't really remember. But I feel like that's something where I'd have been like, oh, okay. We know that they can't make any more.
Yeah.
Right?
He must have.
Yeah. He must have died, because otherwise it's a massive loophole.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't even think about that. I just assumed that he died because he's supposed to die. But...
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, it moves on to... We get to see a little bit more of Red Skull, which I'm always happy to see. Red Skull is able to get the Tesseract back because the suit, which Steve Rogers was wearing, I believe, had the Tesseract in it, right?
I think so. It was at least powered by it.
Yeah, it was definitely powered by it, and obviously it was still intact, which is how you find that Steve Rogers is still able to be alive. But where Red Skull goes with the Tesseract in this What If episode compared to Captain America the First Avenger is completely different.
Yeah, I kind of, like, it made me wonder why he didn't do that originally. Like, if he knew this power that the Tesseract had, why would he just use it for weapons?
Yeah. I guess it's part of that whole alternate reality sort of thing, in that I can't remember Captain America, but he does reference the kind of the Greek gods and mythology a little bit more in this one, and I think maybe he's just kind of discovered it in that episode somewhere. Like I said, it does speed through a lot of it.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe.
And yeah, it's kind of... Is it called the Kraken? I can't remember what it was called. Or the Champion of Hydra, right?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I am not going to lie. Towards the end, I stopped kind of paying attention a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because so much was going on.
But yeah, we get to find, obviously, that, like, Steve is alive. So the Hydra Stomper and Captain Carter are basically taking on this massive Kraken-like monster.
Oh, yes. The little, like, tentacle thing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember now.
Yeah, it was an interesting sort of battle scene that I don't think we expected, and I guess they've also done it as well to basically not just be repeating the entire Captain America film. They had to change some things up, just from an entertainment point of view. And yeah, you basically end up with Captain Carter pushing back the Champion of Hydra into a different dimension. Did you kind of see that was the way that it was going to be played out? I guess I wasn't really thinking about it too much, in thinking that...
I wasn't expecting it to be like a portal situation, I guess. Like, but I liked the way they did it. The only thing I have a question about is, like, how she time traveled. Like, was she fighting that thing for that long? Or, like, what... Because, like, when she comes out of the portal again, there's, like, squid parts. And, like...
Oh, I didn't spot that. Okay.
Yeah. When she comes out in 2012, or what's supposed to be 2012, there's, like, parts of the squid thing that she was, like, fighting that, like, came out with her. So, like, I don't understand how she, like, immediately got transferred into that. Or maybe it's just a different reality. Because the
potentially.
timelines are all like messed up. You know?
Yeah. The only thing that I'm kind of referencing it to, which isn't going to make a lot of sense, again, you have to look into what Red Skull was actually doing in 1945 or whatever year it was.
Mm-hmm.
But potentially it's that whole sort of quantum realm Ant-Man sort of thing where you go in there and 30 minutes is really like, 60, 80 years or something like that? Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe she was fighting it really for like an hour and a half, but it zooms her into the future. But the Tesseract, that's not really a power that we know about. But again, it's Red Skull, and he hunted the Infinity Stones. So there's so many questions that you can throw into it, and whether he has got more than one and is able to harness a bigger power. So obviously, Red Skull could have a lot of the Infinity Stones that we just don't know about, and maybe he could harness like a different energy. And it would make sense in why he's able to pull out the Champion of Hydra, I think it's called, or the Kraken-like monster, as I'll keep calling it. It would again make sense why Captain Carter is able to sort of time travel rather than, just go through a portal and just wake up somewhere. There's a lot of questions that we can really ask about it, and I think that's going to be the sort of way that this series is going to play out, that you're going to throw a lot of questions at it until you kind of get some answers, and hopefully in the latter stages of it we will get some answers. I'm hoping the Watcher's going to be a bigger part of it as well.
The thing is, yes, I want answers, but I feel like this entire show is designed to make you ask more questions. Because the Watcher gives me Twilight Zone vibes, where it's like everything is its own condensed little story, and I don't think any of the other stories are going to connect to the stories that we've already seen. Like Twilight Zone or Black Mirror kind of situation, where like it's like, oh, what if you could do this? What if this happened? What if that happened? So it's kind of like a Twilight Zone, Black Mirror, but like in Marvel. So I don't think that we are going to get any answers to any questions that we are asking right now. That's the only thing.
Okay.
Because I think that each episode is supposed to be its own condensed story. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't see anything being touched on afterwards. But
this is what I'm kind of like leading into, and obviously it is a little bit premature because there's only one episode, but obviously Captain Carter wakes up in, modern day SHIELD, modern day or 2012 SHIELD with Nick Fury and Hawkeye, and I'm just kind of wondering whether we'll ever see Captain Carter again, and by saying premature I'm kind of thinking, do they, maybe if this series is as successful as we expect it to be, do they then do a season 2 which kind of explains what is happening and a kind of a follow-up of what has happened?
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could... Yeah. The only, I don't know. I really don't know if they would. Just because, I know, I'm just expecting it to be Twilight Zone and Black Mirror. So that's where my mindset of it is, and they never go back to anything. So I don't know if they would go back or if they would just continue doing different scenarios, or if maybe they just don't continue the series, because in my mind this series is kind of just we introduced the multiverse, and while you wait for all of these other films and things that are going to explain how the multiverse is going to work, here are some different multiverse scenarios, basically, just to kind of hold us over and give us some content that's kind of related, because we just unleashed the multiverse, but not related to the actual end game story of Marvel,
Yeah. I think I agree with a lot of that. I think the preparation for the multiverse is definitely a good shout. I think that's the way that they're kind of playing it, and they are just throwing these scenarios at us. It's like I was saying, that they could potentially tease Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I think that's one which would fit very nicely into it.
I hope they do.
And yeah, I think there probably is going to be an Easter egg or two regarding the multiverse, Doctor Strange 2, and any other, future Marvel productions. I think there's going to be a lot that we can kind of take away from it, but nothing really spectacular. It's still going to leave us with a lot of questions, mainly about the series.
Yeah, definitely.
But very excited for it. I would like to see Captain Carter make a return, as I imagine that I'm going to say that for a lot of the episodes that we're going to see over the next few weeks. But definitely looking forward to next week's episode. Before we go, obviously I think we'll do ratings, and then I've just got the really one theory to kind of talk about. So yeah, we'll obviously start with ratings for this episode. What would you go for?
I think, I don't know. Maybe it's just because, I like the original story. And, the weird little changes they put in were, they were good, but, I just like the original better. I would say, 7.5, maybe, out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. But I'd probably go for, a 7, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
I think...
It was very good. But
no, 100%.
I think I just liked the original Captain America story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, it was just the speeding through everything.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just kind of felt like I was watching. It sounds weird. I mean, I guess it's hard because they're focusing on a film, right? And they're trying to condense everything of that film into one. But it just felt like you weren't watching the original Captain America, but you were watching it with a couple of things changed. I would have preferred a completely different scenario. But it just felt a little bit samey, and then a few things changed. It's hard to explain it like that, but yeah.
No, that's what I was thinking. That's another reason, because I said, I prefer the original Captain America. I would have liked it to just be a completely separate situation. Yeah. Once she becomes Captain America, I want different things to happen, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, Agent Carter has her own series. They could have gone down any of those routes, right? So yeah, I think there was many ways that they could have done, and I think that's really only the problem that I had with it, is that it was just squeezing that one film which we've already seen. But yeah, I think that's about right. But still, very much looking forward to it. I still think it was a good episode, and looking forward to next week's for sure. Right, so the only theory that I have got, and I believe I have sent this to you, and I think it's just going to be a bit of a backlog in our minds because it was a week or 2 weeks ago whenever we did it. We spoke about it, I think, in very briefly last week's episode, potentially off camera, where Kang obviously has the Ramatut variant, the one which I'd spoken, which goes all the way back in time to ancient Egypt and things like that.
Okay.
And basically takes control of of ancient Egypt. I think I can't remember if it was the one with the Anachronauts, because that doesn't make sense. But basically ends up trying to take control of Apocalypse, or as we know him to be Apocalypse. But thoughts on that variant, a very powerful variant of Kang, to be somewhere in the multiverse and potentially seeing him in the MCU?
I think the way that you're describing him, it's Thanos level threat. So I feel like if he's going to be in it, he's going to be the main Kang that they're fighting in Multiverse of Madness. I don't think we'll see him beforehand. I think that he would be the boss villain, basically. But
No, I think that's right. I mean, Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness is going to be an interesting one. I cannot wait for a trailer for that, I have to say. But I'm excited. Yeah, there's so much that we still just don't know how they're really going to play it. We just know it's going to be a huge movie. And I think Kang could be. It's just whether it's one of the Kang variants and how many there are, because we just don't know yet.
Yeah, that's very true. I feel like the first part of the movie is them like trying to figure out who's the one that they actually have to worry about, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Um,
that guy sounds like a
but yeah, no,
so.
cool. Yeah, good to get your thoughts on that. Okay, I think that's everything for this week's episode. We'll obviously be back next week with What If episode 2, which I believe is T'Challa as Star-Lord.
I think so.
I think that's right. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. Thank you very much for watching if you're on YouTube or Facebook, and thank you to all our listeners on Spotify. Please be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. It's also a link in the description where you can check out Care's YouTube and Twitter. Annotations on the screen for our channels as well. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.